Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Terrible Theory Saga. Man, that's a long title. Uh, Today, I'm talking about what I think is going to be the outfits, skins, and weapons for each of the characters. Um, I'm more so going to be covering the characters that we know of. So Link, Zelda, the Champions, and Impa. Those are the only ones that I'm going to be covering for this video since they're the only ones that are confirmed. There's no point in me theorizing about like what kind of outfits, what kind of outfit skins and weapons other characters will have since we don't know what other characters are in the game. Um, so that's how this is going to work. But uh, we already know a little bit about how some of these weapons and outfits are going to be working, especially with Link. Um, we know that you have some level of customization when it comes to the outfits, as in different parts of the different trailers and gameplay. We see Link has his soldier's outfit on at times, and at times he has his helmet on, and at times his helmet's off, but he's still in the soldier's outfit. So I think you do have some level of customization. I'm not sure as to the extent of it, but I do think you have some level of customization to Link at the very least. Whether or not that extends to Zelda is unknown. That could extend to Zelda, or maybe it doesn't. Because we don't really see her in too many outfits. We know she has a snow quill tunic, thanks to the cutscene in Champion's Ballad, where we see her go and talk to Rafali. Um, so we know that that could be a possible ultimate outfit for her, as well as the ceiling power outfit, and her royal garb, and this her champion's garb. Like all four of those outfits are things that she could wear. Um, so there could be some level of customization in terms of outfits for Zelda as well. I don't think it's going to be to the same extent as it will be to Link. I think that with Link, you will have a lot more customization options available to you. And I'm trying to make sure the lighting's good. I don't want like rays covering parts of my face, but I want to make sure we have good lighting here. Um, but yeah, I think that Link is going to have a lot more customization options. I think he's going to have different outfits that you'll be able to equip him with, like the snow quill tunic, the flame guard armor, the Zora armor, maybe. Actually, no, not the Zora armor because he didn't get that until 100 years later as a gift. So not the Zora armor, but like maybe the Gerudo male armor or the female Gerudo outfit. I actually think that the in the trailer where we see Link in Gerudo Town, I think that that cutscene was altered. I believe that that cutscene was altered, and that in the game, Link will actually be in the female Gerudo outfit in that cutscene. I think that he's going to be dressed as a female Gerudo during that cutscene. I could be wrong. It could just be that like Urbosa being the queen, that she just allowed him in since this is a time of war. So they need to be a bit more lenient with their rules on like no men allowed in the city. So that could be possible. Um, but I do think that Link is going to have quite a few different outfits. Um, and Zelda might have a few as well. As far as skins go, The only thing I can think of for skins is maybe have just like change up Link to be like Twilight Princess Link, or dressed up like Wind Waker Link, or dressed up like Ocarina of Time Link. Basically, using the different amiibo outfits for the other links, use those as the different skins. So that is very possible. They could very well do that, and I think they could do the same for Zelda. That she could be dressed up like Twilight Princess her, or like Wind Waker her, or Zelda 1 her, Ocarina of Time her. Like she could be, those could be her different skins. Um, and I, who knows, maybe, just maybe, Breath of the Wild 2 Zelda could be another skin, and Breath of the Wild 2 Link could be one as well. Maybe, please. But as far as weapons go, for Link, we know that for Link, like he'll have a variety of different weapons that he can at his disposal. Um, and we do know that the sub weapons, you have your main weapon, which will never break, and then you also have 4 sub weapons that you can equip to 4 different slots. Those sub weapons will be able to break. We see that Link has a couple of rods in one of the trailers, and it looks like they have a durability scale. So we do know that sub weapons do break, and it looks like you take the weapons from enemies that you defeat. So Link's going to have a wide variety of weapons at his disposal. Um, as far as what Zelda, could do, my best get is the Bow of Light. She could have the Bow of Light, and she'll have the Sheikah Slate. She'll have the Sheikah Slate, and as far as like actual weapons go, I imagine her using like either a spear or a one-handed sword. So there's a few options for her there. There's a few options that she could have there in terms of like what kind of weapons that she would use. But we don't know enough about Zelda's gameplay yet to really be able to accurately predict exactly what kind of weapons that she'll have. But I was able to make a pretty good guess as to like the different outfits and skins that she'll have, so that's good enough for me for now. Let's move on to Rivali. I don't think there's going to be any actual outfits for the 4 champions. I don't think we're going to get any actual outfits for them, but we could get skins. We could get skins, and for Rivali, we could get a skin of we could get a skin of we could get a skin of a Rito from Wind Waker for one. Oh man, I forget the one that you meet at the beginning of the game. I forget his name. But you meet him near the beginning of the game. He's the Rito that delivers mail to Outset Island. And you could Rivali could have a skin of that. As far as weapons, it's just going to be a bunch of different kinds of bows. Yeah, he's got his bow, and then he'll probably have the other 2 bows that can be found in Rito Village. and then and maybe a Savage Lionel bow, since both of those can shoot multiple arrows at once. So I think that he's going to have different kinds of bows, and maybe for a sub weapon he can have spears, because we do know that Ritos like to use spears a lot. So he might have a few throwing spears as sub weapons. That is a major possibility. Um, and another possibility, if Tebe, like I said in the last video, if Tebe does not end up being a possible playable character after beating the game, they could make another skin where of Rivali with Tebe colors. They could do that. That is another possibility for a skin. The only alternate outfit I can think of, there's his champion. There's his champion look, and then there's his pre-champion look. And then the only other thing I can think of is maybe Ghost Rivali. Maybe Ghost Rivali would be another one, where he's a little transparent. He's a little see-through. So that is a possibility. All three of those are possible outfits and possible skins. Now moving on to Daruk. Woo! Daruk, I'm not entirely sure what all they could do with Daruk, to be honest. The only things I can think of is maybe have a alternate skin be Darunia from Ocarina of Time. That's the only other Goron I can think of. That's super iconic in the Legend of Zelda series. They could go for the chief of the Gorons in Twilight Princess. Both of those could be possible. Those could be possible skins, and then again, like pre champion Daruk and Ghost Daruk could be different outfits. It could be different outfits. And then the skins of those other two Gorons. There aren't that many iconic Goron characters. There really aren't. There aren't that many iconic Rito characters either, for that matter. As far as weapons go, two-handed weapons. Two-handed weapons. Pretty much all the different two-handed Goron weapons, as well as things like hammers and possibly axes. I think that those are going to be the kind of weapons that Daruk is going to have. Yeah, those are the kind of weapons that Daruk is gonna end up having, that are going to be pretty exclusive to him. That's not including sub weapons. I think sub weapons kind of don't change no matter who you're playing. That it's there's a lot of like spears and rods that you can get as sub weapons. But I think that Daruk's going to be the guy that's going to be using a lot of the really big weapons and the hammers and the axes, that kind of stuff. Next up, Urbosa. This one actually is a little easier. Nabaru could be Nabaru could be an alternate skin. And Um, shoot, who was the other one? Um, oh yeah, another alternate skin they could, another alternate like costume, another alternate costume or an alternate skin they could do. If Yunobo ends up not being part of this, then yeah, have an alternate skin for Daruk where he becomes Yunobo. That'd be another option. Um, uh, Barta and Raiju, like have an adult, have her look like an adult Raiju or something. Um, or Barta, who is the head guard of Raiju. If Raiju won't work, then Barta would work. Um, and as far as alternate outfits go, there's the normal Gerudo Vi. There's the normal Gerudo Vi outfit, the female Gerudo outfit, because she's got her queen garb, and she's also got her champion's garb, and so we don't really see her in a normal Gerudo outfit. So we could see her in a normal Gerudo outfit, um, as a possible outfit. Um, so there's that. There's that. There's pre-champion. There's champion. There's ghost. Those are all options. As far as weapons, she's going to have a lot of one-handed swords and shields. I think that she's going to have pretty much every single weapon that Gerudo Town has available. All the shields, all the swords, the spears. She's going to be able to use all. She's going to be able to use all of it. Pretty much, I think that all the champions will be able to use all the different weapons from their different cities and from their different cities and towns and everything. I think that they'll be able to use those. That those are going to be kind of their main weapons. Um, and I think that, and as far as like what else Urbosa could use, I'm thinking a lot of elemental type swords, one-handed elemental swords, like ice, fire, and electric elemental swords. I think that she might be able to use a lot of that. She is very much in tune with the elements, so it would not surprise me if they had her be the elementalist in the game. So you got Rivali as the bowmaster. You've got Daruk as the big heavyweight guy. You've got Zelda with all the different with all the different statuses. Link, which is the most like versatile, and then you've got Urbosa as the elementalist. Um, then there's Mifa. Uh, Mifa alternate skins. Um, Princess Ruto. And there's also the Queen of the Zoras, from Twilight Princess. And then there's also the Queen of the Zoras from A Link Between Worlds. All three of those would work. All three of those would work out really well. Those would all be excellent skins. And again, side on. Change up the way her head looks. Make it look like a shark's head instead of a dolphin head. And that's another option. Um, outfits, pre-champion, champion, ghost. Those are fine. Those work. Anything else? If there's anything else, We do know that some Zoras wear armor. She could have an armored outfit. Um, that is possible. As far as weapons, it's spears. She is going to be the spear. She's going to be the spearman all the way. Um, she's got her light scale trident. She's got the ceremonial trident. She's going to have all of the different spears, all the different weapons from Zora's domain at her disposal. And other spears are going to be like kind of her specialty. She's the best at using all the different spear items. Um, and maybe, just maybe, for customization purposes, maybe give you the option to of change the colors of like their outfits. We do know that there are pale Gerudos. There are pale Gerudos. There are pale Gerudos, and then there are Gerudos that have like really deep and dark tans, and then there's Gerudos that have tans like Urbosa. So maybe you can choose whether or not you want it to be pale, normal, or super tan. That's an option. For Daruk, you could change up his coloring. Make him yellow, make him orange, make him red. Stuff like that. We've seen Gorons that come in like various colorings. Sometimes they're orange, sometimes they're red, sometimes they're brown, sometimes they're yellow. We've seen a green Goron in the past. So there are different colors that a Goron can be, and I think that maybe having a little customization where you get to choose the color of Daruk would be really cool. And same thing with Rivali. He's a bird. They come in all these different various colors, and give you the option to change that up. Same thing. Same thing with Mifa. Zoras are incredibly colorful. Zoras are very colorful, and I think that I think that there are a lot of different colors that you could make Mifa. Blue, pink, yellow, green, orange, turquoise, cyan, black, white, so on and so forth. And the list just goes on and on. Uh, I think that being able to change kind of the coloring of the champions is going to be a major part of customizing them. Seeing as how there is going to be some customizable options for definitely Link and possibly even Zelda. So that is one way for them to allow customization options for the champions. And then lastly, Impa. Impa, they could honestly just go for any of her old looks from past Zelda games, any of her old outfits from past Zelda games, and have those be alternate outfits or skins or both. They could easily do that. And one character I forgot to mention in my last video where I talked about possible playable characters, Paya. I never mentioned Paya or Hetsu even. Either of them could be playable. And if Paya ends up not being playable, that is another character that they could include. That is another outfit that they could include. They could change the outfit. Paya's outfit is slightly different than Impa's, so they could change it up and make her look like her granddaughter. If Paya ends up not being in the game, as a character that you can play as after you've already beaten the story, then that's a way they could do. They could still bring reference to her. As far as weapons, Impa would use a lot of. I think Impa would use a lot of like short swords a lot of like a lot of smaller one-handed blades. Um, and she's going to be focused more so on speed and precision, and less on attack strength. So I think that there's going to be a lot of like one-handed swords involved with her gameplay. Something like the short scimitar for the Yiga clan, or the short scimitar for the Gerudos. Stuff like that, I think, are going to be right up her alley. I think that those are the kind of weapons that she's going to have throughout the game. And that is pretty much it. That's all 7 characters that we know of at the moment. I talked about Mipha, Urbosa, Impa, Zelda, Link, Daruk, and Rivali. And that's all we know, and that's all the characters we know about at the moment. I don't know who else is going to be in the game, so I don't want to make any predictions on any of them at the moment. But yeah, those are who I think. Those are the different outfits, skins, and weapons that I think a lot of these characters are going to have. But what do you guys think? Do you think I hit the nail on the head? Do you think these guys are going to have all those kinds of weapons, outfits, and skins that I mentioned, or would you like to see something else for any of those? Please let me know in the comment box below. I'd love to talk to you all about this. I'm so excited for this game, and I want to keep the hype going. So, with that said, thank you, everyone, so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.